Hey folks, this is Alan of ImportantFun.com, and this week talking about crafting for D&D using stuff you got at the dollar store. For me, it is the Dollar Tree. It's one of my favorite places to go for inexpensive materials that I can use to craft all sorts of things for Dungeons and Dragons and any other tabletop game that you're doing a lot of crafting for. So first thing, jumping right in to talk about, is foam board. So this is my number one thing to get at the dollar store because it is an incredibly versatile building tool for making tiles or larger structures. Pretty much anything. You can peel the paper backing off of the foam board, leaving just the foam, and that lets you texturize and carve it in really neat ways. And it's especially important to go to the dollar store for this because most brands of foam board, like you might find at the grocery store, stuff like that, not only might cost a couple dollars instead of one, but also the paper doesn't peel as easily off the foam, and so it makes it really difficult to get at that stuff you really want. You can get a lot of tools and materials, building stuff, pins, stuff like that at the Dollar Tree. This is probably the least useful kind of category of items I've found at the dollar store. A lot of times you get stuff where it's like, this really reflects that you get what you're paying for, and these are the sorts of things that you're going to use over and over again, and so it might be worth shelling out more than $1 for some of this sort of stuff. Miniatures, we all know, can get pretty expensive. Looks great on the table, but you don't want to spend $50 on a set of minis for one encounter that you might never ever use again. The dollar store has tons of cheap little toys, and sometimes they make really great D&D miniatures. Here we have like a wagon I found and did some painting on, and this is kind of a difficult miniature to find. I think the WizKids line just released a wagon finally, but up until then it's actually been a little difficult to find a wagon for D&D, and it's a super common thing for adventurers to have. I think literally the start of the 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons starter set, the adventurers are traveling in a wagon when they get attacked by goblins, and there's no mini. Here's one for $1. I also found a bag full of sea creatures, which I've used for giant octopi and underwater things, and giant sharks. I'm also painting up some cave fishers out of some crabs that were from that same set. So that's 30 or 40 minis for only $10. It's great value. The dollar store is also great for surprises. Sometimes I have an idea of something I want to craft, but I don't really know how I'm going to do it, and I go to other stores. I go to craft stores and hardware stores for this as well, but I always go to the dollar store first because, hey, might as well go to the cheapest place first, and sometimes I get the best stuff there. I wanted to make a metal grating for this adventure, and I went to Home Depot and found some mesh that I thought might work, but it was really difficult to work with. Went to the Dollar Tree and found this little pencil organizer thing and cut it with some tin snips, and it worked perfectly. It was solid, it had the right texture I wanted, could paint it. I also made some violet fungi models out of just random stuff I found at the Dollar Tree. These are made out of thumbtacks and little earbud pieces, as well as some paper clips, and then a lot of hot glue and paint. So I made a whole set of violet fungi models for just a few dollars. So anyway, that's why the dollar store is one of my main go-tos for D&D crafting. I encourage everyone to go there and just kind of like look around, browse through all the sections, and think creatively about how you might be able to use this stuff. It's a great value and great way to bring that wow factor to your D&D games without breaking the bank. If you have any questions or advice on crafting or anything else, you can go to my website, importantfun.com/blog, or find me on Twitter @importantfun. And thanks as always for watching. Have a good one.